Hello and good day, Mike Adcock here with an update on Tropical Storm Flossie in the Central Pacific. This brief is based on the 9 Zulu advisory package from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center dated the 29th of July 2013. Taking a look at Flossie, 9 Zulu was located 320 kilometers east of Hilo. That makes it 650 east, southeast of Honolulu. Winds have weakened now down to 45 knots, gusting to 55. It continues to move off to the west at 15 knots, and pressure is now up to 999 hectopascal. Do have some tropical storm warnings out for Hawaii and Maui counties, as well as Oahu. Tropical storm watches further on down the island chain. Concern, to a degree, is the winds. Tropical storm conditions, as I mentioned earlier, starting to affect the Big Island later tonight, and then spreading into Maui come Monday morning and Oahu Monday night, possibly lasting into Tuesday further on down the chain. That's dependent on if the track starts to bend northward. Rainfall is going to be the key factor, though. Looking for the rainfall spreading over Hawaii County Monday morning, Monday afternoon for Maui County, and Oahu Monday night. Looking at 6 to 10 isolated up to 15 inches of rainfall on the windward side of the Big Island and Maui County. 4 to 8 isolated up to 12 again windward side of Oahu, and this could result in flash flooding and mudslides. Again, for surf on the east shores of the Big Island, looking for dangerously high surf concerns Monday into Tuesday. This may lead to some coastal road closures. A National Weather Service analysis places the cyclone just to the east of the Big Island at 0 Zulu. Really not expecting much here. Very strong area of high pressure to the north. Dry air aloft, starting to get into some shear, or especially up to the northwest of the system. So its days anyway of being a tropical cyclone are numbered. With that high pressure to the north, you can see continued westward movement, looking for a direct impact on the Big Island tonight. Continued weakening through the period, and should be weakened as a depression once it passes Oahu come late Monday night. For our track guidance, pretty tightly clustered in the short term. Impact to Hawaii seems very inevitable. Once we pass Monday, though, that's when things start to get a little muddy. Where the anticyclone off to the west is, how that affects the steering flow. Starting to see shift to the northwest in the model guidance. The official Central Pacific Hurricane Center forecast is on the south end of the guidance right now. Could see that starting to shift northward. Regardless, by that time frame, the 7296 120-hour point should start seeing significant shear affecting Flossie. So at that point, should be pretty much said and done. Here's the intensity guidance. Pretty certain that it's going to continue to weaken at this point. Already starting to see that that trend is going on now, and the official forecast just stair steps it on down over the next couple of days. The real concern is going to be short term wise. How much of an impact will it have to the Big Island, and in turn, how much will it weaken Flossie crossing over the island? After that, water temperatures and especially the shear will kill off Flossie. Dvorak analysis, as I mentioned, really starting to weaken her. 2.5 across the board. Even the advanced Dvorak technique is pretty much on point. Really looking at about 4/10, 4.5, 5/10 wrap on the log 10. So, but with the lack of convection on a lot of the outflow from the south, tearing the system apart, it's getting a little more difficult to track it on Dvorak. Here's an earlier picture. This is from 2123 Zulu earlier today. Still seemed very well organized. A lot of that convection, as you remember from the satellite loop earlier, that's all gone now. Water temperatures still rather cool. Right here is a 26 degrees Celsius isotherm, or about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So marginal waters really not helping out the system. Right now, Flossie here in the center, flanked by two areas of high pressure. It's this anticyclone that we're going to be watching as it moves around. Do have the subtropical jet all along to its west. That's that shear that's going to kill it. Do have a jet maxima just off to the northwest of that anticyclone, 74 knots. That's turning to a lot of shear problems in the long-term forecast. 500 hectopascal, pretty much similar situation. Looking at the steering flow, again off to the west, and then once we get closer on the southwestern periphery of that anticyclone, starting to see a possible northwestward turn in response to that jet stream. Here's our shear analysis. Very, very high as you get past the Hawaiian Islands. Near term, though, very, very light. Not a whole lot going on. So looking at Hawaii right now, Hilo, currently 78 degrees. Winds are out of the north-northwest at 14 miles per hour. Seeing that pressure starting to drop, 29.94 inches. The official forecast has winds just continuing to creep up at 13Z, looking at gusts up to 40 knots, and then on to 50 knots by 18Z with heavy rain. So that's going to be a concern throughout the rest of today. Tropical storm warning is in effect, as well as a flash flood watch for Hilo. This concludes today's update on the Flossie. Of course, you can get more information and join in on the global tropical discussion at storm2k.org. Follow me on Twitter at SeniorPepper to get updates in between videos. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day and take care.